We are delighted to welcome you to the Australian Parents Council annual presentation. My name is Jenny Rickard, Jemmirickard, President of the Australian Parents Council, and I am your host. I would like to start by acknowledging the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people as the traditional owners of the country throughout Australia and recognise their continuing connection to land, waters and culture. We pay our respects to their elders past and present. The Australian Parents Council is an independent, apolitical advocacy association that believes in helping parents make the best educational choices for their children. We at the APC have parents at the centre of our advocacy, which is why we are concerned about the rhetoric we are seeing in the media pitting parents against teachers. We have been staunch advocates for parental engagement and are still working hard to achieve deeply embedded parental engagement practice in our schools nationally. We do this through not only advocating for this practice, but also delivering a series of courses for parents. So headlines such as these, all taken from the last 12 months, are difficult to swallow. The 2019 survey was completed by 333 parents across all states and territories and across all three education sectors. There was a good mix across primary and high school, with about 9% having children in both schools. The visual representation of the survey comments shows that schools, parents and teachers, as well as their children, were firmly at the centre of what they were talking about. The survey highlighted the following issues. Parents want to be informed early on issues that arise with their child. Parents want more information on their child's social and emotional development and meaningful information on their academic progress. Parents would find guidelines around engagement and involvement meaningful. Parents want to be involved in decisions about technology introduction and use. Parents believe they need more technical support in managing their child's devices. Parents would like time outside of school work hours to contact teachers, but do not want this to be a burden for teachers. 70% of respondents wish their teacher had talked to them sooner about a problem their child was having. Half of respondents had needed to escalate an issue to be resolved. 20% of comments were around interactions with school leadership rather than teachers. Comments on this topic were predominantly favourable around communication with their child's teacher. Some examples of the comments we received were: principals are difficult to get open, honest conversation from. There should be no hidden agendas. Principals should see parents, families and students as clients. Parents should be encouraged to question and challenge schools such that schools must use up-to-date best practice and parents can help a school evolve. Second comment. No, have found all issues have been managed well. That comes down to, in no small part, to us as parents communicating clearly and respectfully. And finally, not all teachers and school leaders are the same. They all need to improve in different areas and work to improve. At this point, we should note that these are not necessarily the views of the APC, and we're just reporting on the information that we received. Parents want more information on their child's social and emotional development and more meaningful information on their academic progress. So as you can see from the graphs, parents feel that they're getting information about the academic progress, but when it comes to their social and emotional development, they're getting most of their information only when their child is upset. This visual graphic representation shows that more work could be done both in academic and social and emotional communications, and that some of the information is coming home from the children and not necessarily from the adults in the school. Parents would find guidelines around engagement and involvement useful. You can see here that 70% of parents felt that that would be a useful tool working in schools. APC encourages schools who do wish to implement a charter or behaviour guideline do so with a rigorous community participation process. We also recommend that they be reviewed often with the understanding that parents' cohorts' needs differ slightly. APC also recommends the use of the Family School Partnership Framework and the tools utilised there to facilitate this process. The framework can be found at this address. This slide is probably the most pertinent of the whole survey. Technology use is a big issue for parents. Schools need to understand that they are potentially taking a parental decision out of the hands of parents about when they choose to allow technology use. Parents always want to have a clear understanding as to how much devices are being used each day. This is imperative as we try to balance our home use with school use and still maintain limits within the recommended guidelines of screen use. Some of the comments we received were, "We don't allow our children to have devices, and I had to be very firm with the AP about it. I work with parents and almost 100% would say they have felt compelled by the school to provide a device for the child, even when it's against their own judgment. The year advisors have no time to talk to parents, and there should be an expectation that the school and the parents are a team. I'm reasonably confident that a lot of aggression anger from parents towards teachers' principals is from sheer frustration at the system and being shut out, particularly in high school." Another comment is, "Strongly agree with digital support. Our kids are always steps ahead of us and parents need support in this area." And finally, "It would be better if parents were more involved in decisions like the iPad program. Schools feel the need to jump in and get a program because they feel it might be beneficial, but then it's hard to back out of it when data comes out later to indicate that early use of iPads are not beneficial. The school has already made a business decision and needs to stick with it." Additionally, many parents suggested other issues were their inability to keep pace with tech development and use, as well as concerns about teachers' ability to keep pace with their students. Finally, the most contentious issue of all. Parents would like time outside of school work hours to contact teachers, but do not want this to be a burden for teachers. 70% of parents would have liked time outside of school hours to talk to their child's teacher in person. We've found that the juggle of work and home is difficult for everyone within the school community, and some workplaces have less flexibility than others. One comment from a parent was, "If they can phone after hours when parents aren't at work and can concentrate on the issue, it might help everyone." This indicated parents are very interested in the child's school life, but finding time in the day with competing priorities is difficult. However, the biggest takeaways are parents do not want to place a bigger burden upon our teachers. Parents are thirsty for information about their child's growth, both academically and socially. Often this is perceived by schools as a lack of interest, but we may suspect it may be a lack of meeting in the middle. In conclusion, communication between schools and parents is vitally important, and there is much room for improvement in this area. We understand that school leaders know their school communities best, and we would encourage them to move into a process of listening and making room for authentic communication with parents. For governments, we believe there is room for improvement with school reporting. Parents are crying out for more information on their child's social and emotional development. They are also looking for more meaningful academic reporting that they can understand. Thank you so much for your time in listening to this presentation.